What if I told you that the crypto ETF in your portfolio isn't really crypto at all? That the SEC's new crackdown could reshape the entire future of decentralized finance? And that what looks like progress on the surface might actually be the biggest Trojan horse Wall Street ever deployed? Welcome to Web3 Exclusive. Today we're pulling back the curtain on a story the media won't touch: the ETF illusion, the SEC's power play, and what you need to do right now to protect your portfolio. Let's dive in. ETFs promise simplicity, safety, an easy on-ramp into crypto for the average investor. But here's the problem. When you buy a crypto ETF, you're not buying crypto. You're buying a promise. You can't stake it. You can't spend it. You can't deploy it into DeFi or transfer it to your wallet. You hold a financial product created to simulate ownership while someone else holds the real thing. This isn't decentralization, it's Wall Street cosplay. If you want utility, sovereignty, and access to on-chain tools, you need to hold the actual asset. 2025 marked a turning point. The SEC isn't just interested in compliance anymore, they want to control the narrative. After the FTX collapse, Celsius fraud, and rising retail exposure, the SEC launched a regulatory blitz. They rolled out sweeping disclosure mandates for crypto ETFs. Valuation metrics, custody arrangements, governance, liquidity management. It's not about protecting you, it's about consolidating power before decentralized finance outgrows their leash. Monitor SEC disclosures and ETF filing updates. Regulation can hit fast, don't get caught unaware. ETF providers now have to reveal everything: how they calculate token prices, where they store assets, who controls the funds, and even potential security flaws. It sounds like transparency, but it also turns these funds into surveillance-grade financial tools. Everything is visible, everything is traceable. And that means every investor's activity is potentially monitored and cataloged. Read 10Ks and S1 filings from ETF issuers. Learn what's being tracked, who's tracking it, and how you're being exposed. Solana and XRP were once on the SEC's blacklist. Now they're being integrated into ETFs, but inclusion comes at a cost. Their networks are now under the microscope. Every node, every validator, every governance vote. Being inside the ETF ecosystem means playing by institutional rules, and honestly, that changes the DNA of these blockchains. For full access and real use of your tokens, hold them natively, not through someone else's filter. ETFs aren't crypto, they're financial simulations. When you buy a Bitcoin ETF, you don't get the Bitcoin. You get a stock ticker, you can't use it in Web3, you can't custody it, you can't join DOs, you can't even move it without someone's permission. This is regulation-wrapped financial theater. Always own some real crypto. Use a cold wallet, control your keys. That's where real freedom lives. Under new SEC rules, ETFs must use qualified custodians like Coinbase Custody or Fidelity. Sounds safe, right? But what happens when these giants freeze accounts, get hacked, or become targets of political pressure? You have no control, because you never owned it to begin with. Do your own custody when possible. Split holdings between trusted cold wallets and DeFi apps you control. Regulations are, pretty unstable. What's greenlit today might be outlawed tomorrow. If the SEC changes its stance on Ethereum, your ETH ETF could be suspended, or, even worse, liquidated at a loss. So, yeah, diversify. Never place all your exposure in regulated products. Hedge with actual crypto you can move, stake, and use. Crypto ETFs can trigger unexpected tax events. You might owe capital gains even when you haven't sold anything, which honestly can be a real headache. Compare that to direct crypto ownership, where you control the when, the where, and the how. My advice? Use crypto tax tools to simulate different exposure strategies. It's just smart to know your risk before the IRS sends a bill. The smartest investors in 2025 use a blended strategy. They use ETFs for exposure, they use wallets for sovereignty, and they use DeFi for utility and yield. Your portfolio should really mirror this logic. Think like a digital survivalist. Create 3 layers: cold storage, like Ledger or Trezor, utility wallets, such as MetaMask or Rabbi, and strategic ETFs for legacy integration. The SEC can clamp down, Wall Street can co-opt our tools, but the revolution doesn't die, it adapts. Builders are already creating DAO-managed ETFs, Layer 2 funds, and offshore structures immune to United States overreach. What comes next isn't compliance, it's reinvention. Stay curious, stay decentralized, and above all, stay sovereign. If this opened your eyes, share it. Because this isn't just about ETFs, it's about whether crypto becomes the future of freedom, or just another tool of control. Follow at Web3 Exclusive for more guides, ebooks, and alerts that keep you ahead of the curve. Thanks for watching, stay sharp, stay decentralized, and I'll see you in the next one.